Vital Foundation takes action against women and child abuse. R1 from every Vital pack will be donated to organizations fighting abuse. Make a difference.
Actively encouraging abuse victims and survivors to use their voices for change and justice can be a key step in breaking the cycle.
Basically, South Africans are just saying it's enough. We've had enough now, and this has to stop. And we have to stop hiding behind our fears and our prejudices and our taboos and the kind of secrecy that goes along with rape, which are very, very understandable. The silence about rape is a very, very powerful thing. So I think the courage of people who are coming forward is really to be commended. It's an absolutely incredible thing.
Although a woman is raped every 4 minutes, many of these incidents go unreported and perpetrators remain free. Fear is what prevents victims from seeking help.
Fear of not being believed, not being taken seriously, of being treated insensitively by officials within the criminal justice system is a huge challenge, and it makes people very reluctant to come forward. There's a lot of a lack of faith in the criminal justice system to actually act as a deterrent. We know that the conviction rate for rape is between 4 and 7% in South Africa, which worldwide is not a bad comparison, but still, if you think that you've only got a 7% chance of sending the rapist to jail, that's also going to deter you from coming forward. But the more people that do come forward and that do speak about it, the better picture we have of the true extent and the true nature of rape in our country.
Among rape crises' many services, extensive support is one of their key assets in not only helping victims, but encouraging others to come forward and speak out.
I think what helps many women to come forward and talk about this and go through this very challenging process is the support of other people. If people in her family, her friends, people like colleagues or schoolmates believe her and support her, and really take the trouble to be there for her in the way that she needs most, which sometimes is a quiet way. And I think what helps is to have the right kind of support, and often perhaps even professional support where you have that specialist knowledge of exactly what phase requires what kind of support, and also provide that interface with the criminal justice system. So if there are any difficulties that you're experiencing, if you are having a challenge, say with the investigating officer in a case, an organization like Rape Crisis can step in and help you negotiate those difficulties.
Zubaydah Sheikh survived a physically abusive relationship and used her negative experience to give back to others. She's the coordinator of 1 Billion Rising South Africa, as well as the national convener of Project 365, a community-based movement.
B-Day is something that was started by Eve with the Vagina Monologues, and it was about, reclaiming Valentine's Day in particular. That's why it takes place on the 14th of February every year. 1 Billion Rising was just a step further because the Vagina Monologues was creating a very good, I think, global awareness of the importance and significance of women owning their own bodies. But 1 Billion Rising started moving forward as a global movement to fight for justice for victims and survivors of abuse. Because while women were claiming their bodies and owning it, abuse doesn't stop there because they're not always in a position to control that.
Events were held around the country to mobilize both women and men to take a stand against abuse and raise awareness that we can all do something to stop the scourge.
The reason it's called 1 Billion Rising is that the UN released statistics last year that said 1 out of every 3 women in the world will be sexually violated in her lifetime. So what we do is we're calling it 1 billion because that makes it 1 billion women altogether. And every time we rise, we say that the person that's rising is standing up for one of those women that will be violated. Effectively, we're trying to get people who are being sexually abused, but also get to the perpetrators, get to the systemic problems. And what we've chosen for this year's theme is, fighting for justice for victims and survivors of gender and prejudice-based violence. 1 Billion Rising is trying to reach everybody, saying, let's work with the women, let's work with the survivors, let's work with the victims, let's support the families, let's find the systemic problems where government can look at the loopholes and we can fill it. South Africa in particular has amazing legislation. We have the best legislation probably in the world. We have one of the best constitutions. Our problem, however, is that it's at the implementation phase that the problem lies. It's not with the policies itself. So one needs to attack it from that space. So we go into the communities and we get community feedback. And 1 Billion Rising has now also had little spin-offs like Project 365, which is continuing its work on a daily basis beyond the annual event.
1 in 3 women on the planet will be raped or beaten in their lifetime, irrespective of race, background or economic status. That is 1 billion women around the globe. Men can also rise up and support these women.
I come actually from an abusive family where I used to witness my dad, having physical fights with my mom for a very, very long time until she one day decided to rise up. So it's something that's very close to my heart as a father, a son, a brother, an uncle, to teach my children, especially I've got a son and 2 daughters, so to teach my son, a good example on how men should be treating women in society. So I decided as a man and as a husband and a father to sort of show support for all females by dressing up as a female and obviously saying that I too as a man rise up.
64,000 rape cases were reported in 2012. Hopefully these initiatives will encourage more women to come forward, speak out, break the silence of abuse and help protect other women around the country.
The Vital Foundation takes action against women and child abuse. 1 rand from every Vital pack will be donated to organizations fighting abuse. Make a difference.